Pike's pushed more and far enough ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome back to the Monday night JPB Clio Cup Round 8 live from Summit Point, not Okayama, and we're actually in round 9 from Summit Point there as well. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth here by Mr. Zach Sweeney very, very shortly, but Summit Point here this evening, not very long circuit at all, 3.2 kilometers in length. And one that I think will provide great racing here as well. It's going to be a very, very interesting evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Phil across the pond, welcome in, buddy. How are you? Hope you are well. Hope you're having a fabulous evening there as well. Let's keep you up to date with the current scores at the moment. Jack Anderson is not here. Jack Andrews is not here tonight. He's out in front of 426 with Paul Godden, Dan Lewis rounding out the top 3. Wayne Palmer, Chris Dixon, Edward Parfitt, Charles Kellerman and Jason Morris. In the team standing, Sim Stickers are out in front. Then Rusty's racing with Jack Andrews and Charles Kellerman. JPB with Edward Parfitt and Dan Lewis. And I race and that in the pro standings at the moment. Adam Dalmont is out in front with Carl Ridley second and Luke Maxwell in third. Then we've got Eric Maniveld, John McCutcheon, John Bailiff and Carl Jacklin, Mark Draper and Adam McNally round out the top 9. Team Radline out in front only by 10 points over Win It or Bin It Racing with SRL Next Gen in third. Send it and bend it and photometer.com. In the late entries that we had of the people joining last week, of course, Dan Mould out in front with Arthur Ferdle, Stu Gibbons, Deck Craver, Chris Barnes and Robert Williams. Let's bring Zach into the booth. Good evening, dear sir. How are you?
I am absolutely fantabulous, I think.
Not even a word?
It's not, but it is now. Do you know why? Because I said it.
Right,
anyway,
okay.
We're here at Summit Point. That's how it works, James. It just is. Of course, welcome in. I'm not this obnoxious, really, guys. It is just pretend. James will tell you that, won't you, James?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
one.
He can vouch for me because of the top quality professionalism of all of his broadcasters. Anyway, we're here for the Clios, and yeah, we're here at, not Okayama, of course, we're here at Summit Point. I mean, to be fair, it's an alright circuit. I've always kind of enjoyed being around Summit Point. I don't necessarily have the best memories as such from racing here, but commentating here has always been a lot of fun. It's a simple circuit, but at the same time quite a tricky one, particularly down at the back end of the circuit. It's, you know, sort of the top of the track map where it really gets squiggly. Very, very tough to really nail, and yeah, should be ripe with plenty of overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, there as well. Phil, yes, you are, Zach. Been on that one, but there we go. Right, we got 16 cars going to be on the grid tonight. To be honest, that's probably enough for a circuit at this side, because to be honest, that run back from Wagon Bend down through the chute can get quite hectic. I think we're in for that again here this evening.
Yes, it's always fun. I mean, again, when it comes to sort of slipstream and things, that's always going to be a big part here at Summit Point. It's quite a fairly open, fast circuit. A lot of undulation, but yeah, turn one, a good overtaking opportunity. Really just got to pitch the car in, and of course that uphill run slightly towards turn two at Wagon Bend, which in itself a fast one, quite blind if you obviously chuck it in. The apex basically just goes slightly up over a crest, so can be quite blind to turn in. Making sure you obviously nip the curb on the left-hand side as well. Then the downhill run through the chute. You're sort of turning and trying to hold that speed, but then immediately almost on the brakes to try and then stop the car from going sideways. Trust me, everyone's done it at least once, gone sideways going into the corner just after the chute. Then you've got the carousel that winds itself out and again can kind of open the door on the inside for an opportunity, but you do have to be very, very brave or very, very stupid, one of the two, to go for a move there. Then it's all about just planting your foot to the floor and trying to get to turn one in one piece.
Yeah, that's the thing with these little cars that run down the chute is so tricky. There's been so many times where I've seen people absolutely career into the back because they've got it all wrong coming down there, and I think that's the thing. We have allowed the latecomers to qualify this week as well. I did initially put out and say that please latecomers don't, but then drivers turned around and said just let them battle. So I was like, okie dokie. So there we go. The latecomers are out on the circuit as well here once again. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Very tight in the championships at the moment. In the AMS, obviously we've got no Jack Andrews. We've got Paul Godden and Dan Lewis with Wayne Palmer. They're probably the main protagonists going into next week at Tsukuba if Jack doesn't obviously appear once again. And then in the pros, Delmont, Ridley, Maxwell. It kind of is Delmont's championship, really. I think he's not mathematically out of it, but I do believe that there's probably enough points on the board where he will take the wins. I'll be very surprised that if he doesn't, of course. And then, of course, in the latecomers, Dan Mould out in front with Furton, Gibbons and Deck Craver, but that's only a little free race championship. So, all in all, still some great action to come, still some great racing to come, and something that these guys are going to work hard for.
Yeah, I mean, Okayama was a really successful round for driving standards. Enjoyed all three races, and of course particularly sort of Dan Mould and Arthur Thuttle having their own little rivalry throughout the evening. Of course, back then weren't exactly incentivized to get involved in the mix as such, but today they've been given the all clear, and Dan Mould, that's like opening the gates and allowing a bull to charge straight out of them, staring at a nice, what are they, Matadors, El Matadors?
Yep.
With the red capes. That's exactly what Dan Mould is going to be doing out there today. Of course, don't count out Arthur Thuttle. He's a very, very strong driver in his own
Not
right.
here
But
this
yeah.
evening.
Oh, he's not. Of course he's not. Of course he's not. I just looked and he's not there. So Dan Mould is just going to be vying to see how far up he can get himself. But Gibbons is up there. He's in P3. He's looking, well, now P4. He's looking very, very strong. Should be a good adversary to Mould. But yeah, also obviously in the fights in the other championships as well, very, very close. And towards the tail end of the season, they're going to be wanting to fight for as many points as they can get.
Yeah, Damo goes on to pole on a 1:20.057 there as well. Deck Craver was the fastest in practice out of the latecomers, so I don't think this is particularly going to be done just yet. We've got Robert Williams is in the pits. Chris Barnes is in there as well at the moment, not got a time on the board. Wayne Palmer, Charles Kellerman, of course. It's good to see Charles back on the track once more. John McHutchison, Luke Maxwell and Adam Dalmont. Dan Lewis repping for the JPB team as well. So Dan Lewis is out there. It's been an exciting week within JPB. We've launched the Endurance Series, the Endurance World Tour. We've launched a NASCAR 100% Series. That's up and running as well. So that's open for sign-ups if you want to get yourself involved. And also, I got an approach last week from two wonderful individuals who have turned around and said, James, want to start your esports team? And I was like, okay then, off you go. So we've got JPB Esports coming in as well. So if you want to get yourselves involved in that one, if you are watching back and sitting at home and think, actually, do you know what, I want to do more racing or I want to do more series, hit up Robert Stoughton and Damien Hovertan in the JPB Discord. They're sorting all that one out for me as well. So yeah, lots of things coming up within JPB and lots of action going to be taking place. So it should be a good one, I think.
Oh yeah, very much so. And a full-fledged esports team definitely would be menacing, I'm sure. Where would you take part, though?
Well, I think, to be honest, they're looking at putting in a team into the Endurance Series. They're looking at putting teams into the hospital fundraiser we've got coming up as well. And also the NASCAR. There's the NASCAR, believe it or not, Tim Perry is part of the NASCAR series and he's doing the NASCAR JPB teams. So we're looking at obviously entering further races and further leagues outside of JPB. So they'll be looking at other endurance series, special events. They'll be looking at multiple things to take part in. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
Yeah, I mean, fair play. Definitely a lot of potential in fielding a team would not be a bad idea. Of course, you'd have to choose some of the top end of the JPB lot just to make sure that the name is repping good, and maybe it could attract some more people to get involved in some of the the esports stuff as well. Obviously for the communities and stuff, the Clios, TCRs, GT4s, and of course the endurance league that's coming. That'll be an interesting one actually to see how the endurance guys get on. Is it hypercars and GT3s?
Yeah, hypercars, GT3 Armor Pro.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean basic, but
does it need to be any harder? Does it need to be overly complicated?
No, because you see these endurance championships and they've got like, we've got I don't know, like something really random and quick, like Formula 3 is the top class, and then they go to like touring cars and GT4, and it's just like you're just trying to be quirky.
Yeah.
Like, just stick to the normal stuff. Like
we've kept it very simple, right? It's GTP, GT3 Pro and AMs. That's it. So we've kept it very basic. There's no middle LMP2, LMP3. There's nothing like that. It is just literally GTP, GT3, Pro and AM as well. And I think sometimes you can overcomplicate things as well. However, we do have a fun event starting on. Oh, dearie me, when is that starting? In a couple of weeks, I think, as well. One of the FTR events is coming in. Now, this is going to be very, very interesting, Zach, and you might actually like this. 5 classes with 60 drivers. The classes are going to be the Mustang, the Clio, the MX-5, the GR86, and the Jetta.
they're all fairly similarly paced, though.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely chaotic. But we recently spoke to Richard at FTR, and we have taken on that as well. So you've got 3 people in the booth all set, ready to go. There's lots of other things all in place already. So I think overall it's going to be manic. Of course, if you haven't watched any of the action over the weekend, well, there's a lot. I'm not going to I am safely going to say that. There was 4 broadcasts yesterday. There was 2 on Saturday. So if you haven't got nothing to do during the day, there's 6 broadcasts of epic racing from F3's Super Formulas, VWFC Historics, and I do mean Historics, Daytona, the Shelby Daytona, and the Ferrari was there as well. Oh, that race was just unbelievable. I would definitely go and watch that one. There was F3s, there was GT3s, there was Formula 123 on there as well. There was a lot going on there as well. So if you haven't got anything to do and you want to sit back and just chill out, go and watch some of the racing over the weekend. It was absolutely insane. And if you've got a spare 2.5 hours, watch the VWSC. The Historics at Daytona.
Cars sound good.
Oh, mate,
Like,
it was
the
Alfa Giulia, there was the Alpine A110, there was the Shelby Daytona, there was the Porsche 904, there was the Ferrari there as well, I can't remember which version, and there was the Lotus 23B, which looks like a little skateboard. It was, I tell you what, the guys at Storm Gang Simulation have done an absolute insane job with that 1964 mod on R Factor 2. Definitely worth going to have a look. It was just incredible. They were 3-4 wide going around NASCAR 1 and 2 because you had all classes mixed in together. It was just chaotic. But we have got racing going on here tonight as well. We haven't completely forgot about qualifying, why we waffle on about what's coming up and what's been going on. Dalmold, Luke Maxwell and Adam Dalmont are currently in top three with John McHutchison, Craver and Maniveld. Palmer leading the AMs with Lewis there as well. Godden and Kellerman coming out of the pits, once more. Looks like he's had a bit of a torrid time here. Very interesting circuit, Zach. I love Summit Point. I think overall it's an epic racetrack.
I mean, to some extent I can agree. Again, from my own personal experience, I've never really enjoyed driving it, but I can see the appeal.
But is that a skill issue?
Well, 100%. It's always a skill issue.
Always.
Anytime I complain about a circuit, it's typically because I'm not very quick at it. And the ones that I love are the ones that I'm, competent at. I won't say good at, but I'll say competent.
Well, here is the grid. Dalmold on pole with Luke Maxwell, Adam Dalmont, John McHutchison, your top four. Jack Craver, Wayne Palmer, Dan Lewis, Stuart Gibbons in the mix with Carl Ridley, Carl Jacklett, Rob Williams, Paul Godden, John Bailiff, Chris Barnes and Charles Kellerman. So there we go. Looking forward to seeing how this one pans out here again, as these cars have got 3 20-minute races. Top 10 reverse and a top 15 for race 3. So practically a full grid reverse there. Again, to be honest with you, there are certain times at certain places where we sit back and go, ooh, there's only 16 cars. But 16 cars at Summit Point is still quite a lot here, Zach.
Yeah, it's a short circuit. Obviously, with such reliance on slipstream as well, people are going to be close, people are going to be battling. And there's plenty of overtaking opportunities to keep everyone nicely packed up together. And it's not the longest race in the world, so that people aren't really getting that far away from each other either. Dan Mould, of course, putting it on pole, a big statement once he's actually allowed to unleash his full pace. So I think we're in for a good couple of races.
Yeah, Luke Maxwell there sat on the grid. We're waiting for Williams, Kellerman. Just Dan Mould now, actually, enough. Here as well, so just wait for Dan. Hopefully we'll take to the start, of course. He's got about, there we go, he's on the grid. So let's get this up and running. Let's get this going here as well. The lights are coming on. 1, there we go, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as always, we are green. Mould did not get a good start. Maxwell managed to get alongside him here with Dalmont and McHutchison. Then we've got Craver and Maniveld as well. Luke Maxwell's going to go into the lead in the first corner. He's going to be hard on the brakes. He's going to go round the outside now. They're going to be 2 wide, about 6 deep, I think. I don't think anybody's really changed. You can see them all rushing round now. This is going to be tricky though, Zach. Wagon bend, 2 wide. Somebody on the outside normally ends up going off to the grass.
Yeah, typically. Let's see how these guys are going to get going, though. Of course, you can see Maxwell on the inside of Mould, gets his way through. Of course, Mould trying to go the long way around. The track does pinch, as you can see, the curve winding back into the circuit, but they are still going to run side by side. Mould going to try and cut the move through the inside of the chute in towards the next braking zone. Maxwell is able to stay ahead with a very consistent run of form. Adam Dalmont as well tries to pick himself into the mix, but it's Mould that stays ahead momentarily. Dalmont, though, fighting it all the way through, as McHutchison just in behind as well. So Radline versus SRL in the opening moments for the top 4.
Yeah, we got Mould, Maxwell, Mould, Dalmont, McHutchison, and just behind that is Maniveld as we're on board with McHutchison now here. He's got to be looking at putting these guys under pressure to try and help his teammates. Slight little dab of the brakes. Get it hooked up. Now that run coming out of the final turn as well. Down through paddock. They've gone down the hill. They're on that run. Down the start, finish straight once more. Dalmont and Mould looking very close together. Further back, we've got Godden in the background as well. He unfortunately took a trip off the side of the circuit. He's battling away with Kellerman, Dan Lewis, and also Wayne Palmer finding out in the AMs here. So some great action from the AMs. He's got Carl Ridley right behind him as well. Still action booming further back with Chris Barnes, Stuart Gibbons, Rob Williams and Paul Godden all scrapping it out. But at the moment, Maxwell, Mould and Delmont, your top 3 here as well.
Perfect start, really, for Maxwell, getting the jump off the line and running really, really nicely with it. Let's see if he's able to continue that run of form, and of course, go for that race 1 victory that we nearly saw out of him last time at Okayama. If it wasn't for a lack of fuel, he would have gone on to dominate that particular race. There you can see the 3 separate classes, the Pro, the Entries, and of course the AMs. And everyone, to be fair, fairly close to Crowther, about 1.6 off Dan Mould, but separated by a good couple of cars. Running on board with Wayne Palmer, he leads the way in the AMs, and he's got Dan Lewis just in behind, so might want to be able to get a bit of a jog on because, again, in such a close pack, it's so easy to go backwards.
Yeah, it is. Palmer's just in front at the moment. You can see Lewis just settling in behind them. So Dan Lewis there doing a stellar job. We've got a bit of a gap to John Bailiff, who's got Kyle Jacklett. If you look in the rear right, top right hand corner, you can see Jacklett in the background, flicking around all over the place. He's trying to put off Bailiff at the moment. Stuart Gibbons has got a bird's eye view. If Jacklett goes for that, he's going to be coming from well back. Oh, he didn't know. Thank God for Kyle Jacklett. Gibbons has gone in deep. Is that going to release Chris Barnes? In front of him there is Chris Barnes. We're on board with Williams now as these guys going side by side up into Wagon. Everybody being really sensible through Wagon, and I think that's a great thing to see, because as me and you both know, through officials, it would be a completely different moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, most people on iRacing, particularly at Summer Point, because it is a very rookie class orientated circuit. It's always in sort of the Formula Fords, always in the MX-5s, that sort of area of the officials, yeah, it's always carnage, chaos, and sometimes a bit of a laugh as well. Well, a laugh when you're not a part of it and you can see it happening and you gain a couple of positions from it. Not so much necessarily when you are directly involved in it, but this is the way, this is why these guys are here in a community, in a championship, is so that they can have the trust to put the lines on other people to battle cleanly and have that fun. 4 minutes into this 20-minute race, 20% of it already done and in the books. Actually, there you can see 3rd place in the pros, 4th place overall though. Dan Mould absolutely flying, of course leading the way in the late entries, and 2nd place overall.
Crowther's not too far behind. As I said, Crowther was the fastest of the late entries in practice. Not quite bringing that pace in. Mould has closed on Maxwell. So Mould and Maxwell and Delmont here, they could really, I'll tell you what, Maxwell needs the help from McHutchinson. And right there as well, he could do with being able to put some pressure on, because unfortunately Maxwell's going to come under pressure from Dan Mould here. They're going down now through the chute, the right-hander. They're going to hit the brakes at the end of the mud mark. There we go on the right-hand side. Now Maxwell hugs that inside line. Through the carousel he goes. Then he's got this tricky right. I never really liked this section, because for me, in most cars, it was always either a flick up to 2nd and back down to 1st, or I ended up redlining, running the rev limiter on in 1st gear, Zach. It's quite a tricky corner to get right.
Yeah, it all depends obviously how sort of your exit is. I mean, if it's a slightly slow exit, you might as well just keep it in 1st. But if you're bouncing off the rev limiter for any more than sort of a second or two, you're losing time. All depends as well what kind of gearbox you've got in the car as well. If it's an easy, just sequential one, obviously with a nice clutch system that can obviously transition into the gears quite smoothly, similar to say a Formula 1 car or whatever, then yeah, it's easy to go into 2nd. But if you've really got to rev match the car and maybe even a H pattern, always very, very difficult to suddenly change gear, go up and then down a gear. It's just clunky and can lose you time and momentum. So it sort of all really depends as to what your driving style is. And yeah, obviously also depends on your line going into that corner as to make the most out of it. I believe momentarily Luke Maxwell was under pressure from Dan Mould. That's the fight for the lead still, you can see, kicking up a bit of gravel. Mould getting all up in the rear end of Maxwell. Let's see who's going to be the one to be on top as they run their way through the chute into the next braking zone. Maxwell definitely feeling the pressure.
There he is at the moment. Oh, he's gone in running a little bit too deep there. We're on the right of Dan Mould. Maxwell's managing to hold on there as well. He's got his nose tucked in. Over the curb he goes. So he's coming now to the left-hander. Now we've got the run through the right-hander down into paddock. It should be a full flat here for these guys. You're going to see a brief little dab of the nose, dab of the brakes, sorry. Then you're going to get the car sorted in. There you go. Quick dab of the thing over the curb. Oh, he didn't really take much of that curb. He has let it run on the outside, and now we're on the nose of Luke Maxwell. It's on the down mould as he's going, trying to battle Maxwell. Maxwell goes to the inside on a big old defence. We've got Crowther and Maniveld in the background there. And further back, we've got Bailiff, Jacqueline, Gibbons also battling it out as Dalmont's trying to follow through. That's going to bring John McHutchinson into play here. Crowther there, unfortunately, couldn't get past Manifold, and Wayne Palmer right behind him. Now Bailiff, Jacqueline also side by side as well here. There's still pockets of battle, Zach, and some great action taking place.
Yeah, it really is exactly what we'd expect. Here side by side, I think Jacqueline on the inside of Bailiff. He's going to go to the outside, of course, of turn number 2. Again, the track does tighten, so you have to give a wide berth on the outside if there is a driver there. Bailiff able to carry that momentum through. Gibbons all up in the business of Jacqueline, very close to contact. Now under the brakes, everyone keeping it nice and tidy and off the road. Maxwell down to 7th.
Oh, no. Luke. Oh, no. He's got it all wrong going down through the chute. Runs wide. He's on the grass. He did well to avoid everyone. And unfortunately for Luke Maxwell, he's down in 8th place. Dalmont is in 2nd. He couldn't capitalise there. Dalmont went past him. So unfortunately for Maxwell, he just, he hit the grass and that was it. He was gone.
And as simple as that. I mean, a small mistake, large consequences when you're carrying that much speed, and yeah, just a tap on the grass unsettles the car. That's all it really takes, even in front-wheel drive, fairly stable cars in the form of the Clios. Your whole race can be turned on its head at the snap of your fingers at a blink of an eye. So once again, another harsh lesson that Luke Maxwell will have to learn in terms of pursuit for another victory. Of course, I've got no doubt in my mind he'll fight for more. There's contact once again. Bailiff and Jacqueline still, well, hammer and tongue between each other going into turn number 2.
Yeah, there as well. Bailiff's trying to slot in. He's trying to stop Gibbons coming through. Just about manages it. I think he parked his car halfway across the white line there, and Gibbo didn't have anywhere to go. It was like parking it in the middle of the track. He just kind of parked the bus almost, taking it into football terms. And these guys battling out. We've got 2, 4, 5 cars they're going to be involved in if they can here. Kellerman's in the background there, unfortunately, just dropping off the pace a little bit, but great action. Oh, as we see Paul Godden go off as well. He's pushing like an absolute trooper. Now we've got Maniveld and Crowther. They're almost side by side. Crowther's going to have almost the racing line as such coming onto that back straightaway. Gibbo is in front. Barnes is behind Crowther as well. Is he going to bump draft Crowther forward? He's locking right in at the moment. It's Chris Barnes. They're going down into turn 1. Barnes is giving him a little bit of push back away into the corner. Otherwise, Crowther's going to go in. Oh, no. Bailiff's got it wrong. He went in too deep in turn 1 there, Zach, and that allowed everybody behind him. And now we've got Chris Barnes and Stuart Gibbons battling out into Wagon.
Yeah, you can see I'm trying to go the long way around, but unfortunately having to give way to Gibbons. This is the fight for P3, of course, in the latecomers class, and the of course signified by the green banners. The pros are the reds, the AMs are the yellows, and the late entries nicely in the middle with the greens. So there you can see how things are all racking up for them. Chris Barnes, though, still fighting with Williams as well, not too far off the back end of this fight for 3rd. So very, very close contention between the 3rd, 4th and 5th.
Back up front, Dalmont's under pressure from Mould, who's got McHutchinson not a million miles away, mind you, in there as well. And then behind that, we've got Maniveld, who's got Crowther and Palmer for company. So we're getting little pockets now. We've got the front 3, then we've got the next 3, and then we've got the 3 after that, and then we've got the 6, I think it is, after that in the background there at the top of your screen. So a lot happening here. Now is Crowther going to go for it over. Maniveld is looking up the inside. Palmer's looking around the outside. Poor old Crowther's looking forward, looking back, and he's not really sure where to go here tonight.
Which is fair, because obviously with how chaotic everything is, you're looking forwards, backwards, left, right, this, there, and everywhere really, trying to spot some gaps and plan your route of attack really is the only way you can really go about it, because just how this dynamic of racing forces your mind to react. You're constantly in your mirrors, constantly trying to focus on driving and all these different things, trying to be processed. Maniveld under a little bit of pressure from Deck Crowther, who is trying to put a bit of pressure onto him, but to say Maniveld holding up third place in the pros quite well.
Yeah, Williams gotten there. Williams just made a mistake. He's just gone off the side. He's just lost that place to Paul Godden. Bailiff's there as well. Barnes and Gibbo battling it out in the late entries. This is, of course, for third in the late entries championship here as well. So lots of action going on. Can they manage to get through? That's going to be the question, as they're now on their run down into paddock at the moment. Barnes has dropped back a little bit from Gibbons. What about Crowther and Maniveld? Well, at one point they were side by side. They're still side by side going down into turn one. The right-hander, you've got to be on the brakes. How about the free cone? There you go. Onto the brakes. Oh, Maniveld goes in a little bit deep. He gives Crowther a little bit of contact there, Zach. And unfortunately for Crowther, he's now got Palmer, and Palmer's not letting up here at the moment.
Not at all. Fighting away as best he can, but of course leading the way in the AMs. He's got 3.5 seconds back to Dan Lewis, so he might as well get intermingled, have a bit of fun. And now in the slipstream, getting a very nice rear view to the graphic livery just ahead of him into the chute, and then of course the next braking zone. Close to contact, just down to second gear, and again, it's all about setting yourself up through the section, trying to maximize your exits. I mean, there's a difference between the fastest racing line and then the fastest racing line as such. Obviously, the line that extracts the most lap time, as opposed to the lap that gets you the positions and the opportunities to overtake.
Yeah, I tell you what, Palmer got a great run after the S's, and he got a little bit stumped there because he was carrying so much speed. He nearly went into the back of Crowther. Now the final corner, onto the brakes, take the curb to help the rotation. There you go. And unfortunately, Palmer's dropping back a little bit. But this is what Crowther's seeing. Crowther's seeing Maniveld in front of him, and he's closing and closing. He's not really in a draft-assisted car here, Zach, is he? He's in a roller skate on wheels almost. Onto the free cone they go. They hit the brakes. Maniveld's going to still grab the inside there. Maxwell's trying to come through in the background, but he's got Carl Ridley somewhere around him currently at the moment. He's side by side there. Ridley and Maxwell. Maxwell's going to have the inside line. Is he going to be able to hold it going up into Wagon? They're going to go too wide. Oh, dearie me. Is anybody going to be up on the outside? We haven't seen any yet. And I think that's the surprise for me, because I really thought there would be more people up onto that right-hand side of the Wagon.
Yeah, these guys are doing really well. I've got to say to him, it's, again, a tricky corner, especially in front-wheel drive cars. There's a lot of strain on that front. It's doing the turning, it's doing the driving, and it tightens up on the exit, and it's a fairly high-speed corner. So naturally, there's a lot of load on those front tyres, more so with front-wheel drive, and so easy just for the car to wash out, and then you think, oh, I'm not turning enough, so I'll crank more on, and then that makes your situation worse, and then you push on even more, which again just exaggerates the problem almost tenfold. Fight for the lead though. Dalmont, of course, on the back of teammate Adam Dalmont. Of course, none of these guys really fighting for position within their own class, but they are fighting for the overall. Here's Dalmont going to the inside, Mould then to the left. They have got to be mindful of McCutchinson only a second back in towards turn number one. Of course, it's Dalmont on the inside, Mould trying to go the long way round. Beautifully done if he's able to keep the agility, and it's all going to be about who can put their foot to the floor first. And well, Dalmont edges himself ahead going into turn two.
They did there as well. It was not very far. Like I say, what Dalmont wasn't far behind off the back of Dalmont. That was very, very close as we go on board. Now with Mould, you can see we've got Ridley and Maxwell battling it out. We've got Bailiff and Williams also under fight. Oh, they're fighting further down here. Mould's on the brakes. Into the left-hander he goes. Now he's coming into the carousel. He takes a little bit of the grass on the right-hand side. Now he's going to look for the exit. Onto the accelerator he goes. We're in third gear at the moment. 5,500 revs there as well. The maximum you want to put into the cars. Mould over the curb again, full flat running through down into paddock, and it's still Mould with Dalmont in front. Not very long to go. 4 minutes already. Blimey, this has gone quick as these guys are going around the final corner.
It really has. We've only got a couple of laps left to go, and I suppose time does fly when you're having fun, but not to worry, because we still have 2 more races left to go, right?
Yes, very much so, dear sir. We definitely do. Wayne Palmer there with Eric Maniveld. Maniveld is lost a place to Craver, and Craver's on his bike up the road. Palmer's looking up the inside. Go on, Wayne, have some of it, son. Get on the brakes, get a little bit aggressive, and go in and start putting yourself about. Have a good old battle there, mate, because at the end of the day, why the hell not? As you're coming into the final few laps, Dan Lewis, Luke Maxwell there as well. I think Williams is side by side with Charles Kellerman. He is. We just caught that at the right moment. Kellerman's got in. Smoke coming out there as well. Has he gone in a little bit here? Williams is going to look for the exit. Kellerman's on the left-hand side. Williams, is he going to make it? I don't know if he's going to have the pace. I think Kellerman's going to get him. Williams there. Kellerman, oh, he gives that up. Oh, man. As Jacqueline, who we know doesn't give up things very easily, is fighting away with Carl Ridley. Kellerman gave that up a little bit easy, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just obviously dropping it a little bit. There you can see down in 16th place at the moment, which I don't really know. It's not like him at all. But of course, with Jacqueline fighting away, of course in typical Jacqueline fashion, here's Adam Delmont fighting away. Dan Mould, you can see just in the top right of the screen, the menacing SRL livery in his mirrors. Well, we got two to go at the line.
Yeah, 2 to go. I was just seeing how close they would be, and they crossed the line with about 17 and 15, I think. Palmer and Maniveld still going at each other. Carl Ridley in the background still fighting away with the immovable object that is Carl Jacqueline. Not the easiest man to get past, is he?
He is not, and he's very proud of that fact. But at the end of the day, it depends on the circumstance. In a reverse grid race, where he knows full well he's not where he deserves to be in terms of pace, he'll just let the quicker guys go. He knows how to pick and choose his fights, but if he's in a position where he knows he's deserving to be in that position, or like at the back end of a reverse grid race when he's in the lead, he will fight that hammer and tongue, and he's a very, very clever driver at picking what fights to and not to fight, and then, you know, the ones that he should just let go. Of course, when it does come down to fighting them, he's very good at fighting them. When it comes down to not fighting them, he's very good at just getting out the way and making that transition as smooth as possible, because at the end of the day, the only race he cares about is his own.
Yeah, I fully agree. Maniveld now, go on, Palmer, you've got this, son. Come on, get in there. Can't get any closer even if you wanted to. Make it round that final corner. Are you going to be able to do it? I think Barney's waving. He is waving to the final lap of the race. Now Palmer's there. Is he going to be able to get the run? Be great to see Wayne Palmer having a go. We know he's a very conserved driver. Look at the inside, son. On the way down into the corner. Be later on the brakes. Just send it. Oh, I just want to see him send it, Zach. Just go for it. You know what I mean? There's no obligations to anything. They've just got to have a go, haven't they?
I mean, kind of. I mean, I can see why he's being quite reserved. I mean, at the end of the day, he's in the AM lead, and he can't really gain more from overtaking this. All he's carrying is risk. But also on the flip side, have a bit of fun. Like, open up a little bit, but all it takes is one bit of contact off the road or anything like that, and things could very quickly go wrong. So for Wayne Palmer, I'd be happy just to sit behind, to be honest.
I love picking up on Carl's battles, and that's purely because generally he's in one. Every time we see him, whether it be TCRs or this, he's always in a battle, and whoever is behind him, I do feel deeply sorry for, because Carl is such an immovable object there as well. But it's going to be Adam Dalmont coming through now as well. The line is quite far down, Mr. Mould. Be aware, there it is. Now in the background, we got Maniveld, we got Palmer, we got Maxwell here having a go. Palmer's literally going to push Maniveld over the line. Maxwell getting there as well. In the background, Ridley could not get past Carl Jacqueline. Stunning job as we see Dan Lewis take to the jump on the left hand there. There was a couple of others going for it as well. There was Chris Barnes. It's quite funny, that jump. As soon as you go up on it, you're done. It kicks you out.
It's well, I've never done it, so I don't know.
Have you not?
No.
Have you ever? You must have done the jump at Parfitt, though, right?
No, I actually haven't. I actually haven't done it myself.
Well, there are the race 1 results, and as you can see, it was Adam Dalmont with Dan Mould behind that. John McCutcheon behind that one with Derek Craver in 4th. Eric Manifeld in 5th. It was Palmer in the AMS with Luke Maxwell in 7th. Dan Lewis taking 2nd place in the AMS there as well. Kyle Jacklet, Carl Ridley, Stuart Gibbons wrapping up the podium in the latecomers. A great job from him, with Chris Barnes behind him and Paul Godden, who takes 3rd in the AMS there as well. And then we've got Rob Williams and Charles Kellerman behind them as well. So a great job from all of these guys. The grid is set for race 2. Obviously, they've got that 5-minute gridding period between races. Carl Ridley will be on pole alongside poor Carl, Carl Jacklin. Dan Lewis in 3rd with Luke Maxwell in 4th and Wayne Palmer in 5th with Eric Manivelle, Deck Carver, John McCutcheon, Dan Mould and Adam Delmont there were your top 10 reverse. Stuart Gibbons, Chris Barnes, Paul Godden, John Bailiff, Rob Williams and Charles Kellerman. I feel sorry for anybody stuck behind Carl Jacklin, and that's not because he's a bad driver. Complete opposite, Zach. He is a good driver overall.
Yeah, and it's in these reverse grid races that he really comes alive, and not necessarily because he's slow in the first one and sort of relies on these reverse grid races to do well, but it's more a case of that he does well enough in the first race, and then he knows how to handle the pressures and the demands of a reverse grid race, in the sense that if there's an opportunity to go for the lead, he'll go for the lead. He'll build a gap in that early stage, run away with things, so much so that he's not actually got that long to defend if/when the likes of Maxwell and Mould once again close in on him. So that's something that Jacklin does really well. In the TCRs, obviously, when it comes to race 2s, he's on a streak, or was on a streak of about 3 rounds winning race 2, the reverse grid race. It was only recently, last week, that he obviously lost that. And he's just really well poised at succeeding in very difficult circumstances.
It definitely is. Don't forget, guys, coming up on the JPB YouTube channel this week as well, there is still a lot of racing. We've got the UK sim races tomorrow night, of course, and also NASCAR Super Series returns from Pocono. Normally 31 cars on the grid from that one. We've got BSC taking place on Tuesday night Eastern time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Then we go into the JPB GT4 Championship on Wednesday. On Thursday, it's the Radical Race Series. Then we've got Evolution taking place as well. The GT3's final round of them. Fridays is the TCRs. And then, of course, we get into that weekend period where JPB just get very, very busy with a lot of action coming up this weekend as well. So don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on the bells, because we've got a lot more action coming up here as well. We've also got tomorrow night, I forgot to mention, the Project Racing League Round 1 Tier 1 on F1 23, and then on Wednesday night we got the Project League's Tier 2 taking place as well. They're going off around about 9:30, 10 o'clock, so keep an eye on that one. TSRC's, of course, GT3 Season 7 Round 5 also happening on Thursday, and TSRC iRacing Round 5 Season F4 season also going on Friday as well. And then over the weekend, we've got the VWSC Modern Round 2 kicking off there. The Coffee Cup Round 2 will also be on Sunday morning, and then IGP in Sunday night. So there's a lot going on, so make sure you like, subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of that action. Race 2, Heat 2, Zach, coming up. More of the same, please, surely.
Yeah, let's do it. Obviously, they're now gridding up, getting ready to get themselves raring once for 20 more minutes of racing action. But yeah, I mean, race 1 was a success. Let's bring it on, and hopefully let's not see Luke Maxwell bin it once again.
Yeah, don't dig at poor Luke. Wasn't his?
Well, Delmont had a good race. I can't exactly go for him.
No.
I've got to go for someone.
That's a first, isn't it? That you and Adam Delmont don't exchange pleasantries there as well. Carl Ridley on the pole position. We're just waiting for Charles Kellerman. He has got on there as well. So Charles Kellerman coming on at the back of the grid. But race 2 is going to be underway. It is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once we've got the green alive here as well. Carl Ridley takes off the start. Carl Jacklett there as well. Dan Lewis not afraid of having a good old battle as they are what they are as the moment in time. 16 cars in a line, 8 either side. Well, 2 wide, 8 deep. Zach going into turn 1.
Yeah, you can see there really is just flying information as if it's a formation lap. As Carl Jacklett, big lockup, going straight forwards. Dan Lewis picks his way past Luke Maxwell. Now on the inside, Freight trending his way through. Is he going to look to the inside of Lewis as well by the time they reach turn number 2? I think he might well have a bit of a look. He is alongside. Lewis tries to go the long way around, but it's too long. And I think Maxwell is going to take that position only just. A little bit further back, you can see Bailiff fighting his way forwards. As just carnage left, right and centre.
Yeah, Ridley's run. He's got his running shoes on. He's got his new Nikes from Usain Bolt, and he's gone as Carl Ridley. But Carl Jacklett in there, Dan Lewis, Eric Manivelle, John McCutcheon, Dalmont's trying to go round the outside. Mold's trying to go round the inside. Palmer's in the middle. He is the filling in an SRL bread sandwich. I know that will please Max Sweeney here as well. So a great action all the way.
It's kind of still wrong. Because it's not a bread, it's not an SRL bread sandwich, is it?
For God's sake.
It's a Parma sandwich with SRL bread, right? Anyway, there's mold on the inside of it.
How can Parma be the sandwich? I don't understand what you mean by that.
But because it's not a bread sandwich, is it? It's a ham sandwich.
Oh, for God's sake. Right.
You call it by the filling, James.
All right, well, let's call the racing that's going on, shall we? Here as well, Ridley, Jacklett, Maxwell, Lewis. Priorities is the sandwich there as well. John McCutcheon goes through there as well. Careful. Dalmont there as well. Mold and Palmer were side by side. We got Crowther and Barnes side by side in the background. And up here we got Dan Lewis. He's under pressure from Maniveld as well. So Lewis is trying to hold on. This is just absolute carnage going on here for the first 2 minutes of this race number 2. There's action up front. Jacklett and Maxwell. Luke, you are not going to bully Carl. You're going to have to send it up the inside. Carl's going to give you about an inch of room. Go on, son of it. Oh, it comes away, but boy, oh boy, Zach, we know. No! Carl.
Well, that is definitely a lightning McQueen moment if I've ever seen it, where he drifts off into the infield and then, of course, rejoins. Luke Maxwell down in 16th place. I don't know what to say about that one. I mean, Maxwell wouldn't have spun if Jacklett wasn't there, but also, I mean, I don't know. Was it Maxwell's fault? I mean, at what point do you back out, though?
Well, you lift, I think, more than backing out here as well. Lewis, McCutcheon there with Delmont on the inside. Mold's trying to follow him through. Palmer's alongside these two. Go on, Wayne, have it, son. As he's putting in, Delmont's just got nowhere to go. He either pushes Wayne Palmer or he pushes Delmont. He's gone for the Palmer situation. Palmer's going to open it up. He almost took the nose off Delmont. Delmont's going to have to run now down on the inside. Through the carousel he goes. He's side by side. Palmer's going to have the inside line. Surely he's got to send it. He didn't send it up, Zach. He didn't send it off the inside. I'm surprised. Why didn't he hold on?
I don't know. I really don't know what is going on at the moment. Of course, you can see Palmer still battling away.
I don't know what's happening.
It's just, mate, I'm still thinking about sandwiches, I've got to be honest. Dan Mold is going through the right-hander. He's fighting away with Palmer still. Of course, there is racing going on. But I am working myself up an appetite, so I might need to go make myself a sandwich. There we go, side by side. Jacklett, it's Manetveld's turn. Well, let's see if he's going to see a similar fate.
Well, let's hope not. Maniveld running side by side with Carl Jacklett now down into turn 1 we go. It's going to be Maniveld on the left, Jacklett on the right. Maniveld surely got to send it in deep. McCutcheon, pick a side. I wouldn't know what way to go coming out of this. I don't know where I'd want to be in wagon as well. McCutcheon's gone in deep. That's going to allow Dan Lewis to come through. Now they're going to go side by side. Jacklett and Maniveld are going to go at it as well. Who's going to be able to take this? Maniveld Jacklett backs off. What about Delmont behind McCutcheon? He's not backing off as they're going through wagon as well. Great action still happening. Jacklett and Maniveld still side by side, almost going down into the S's.
Yeah, look at that. We've got 5 cars nose to tail. Of course, bunching up a little bit. There's a huge send. Wow. McCutcheon bullying his way past. Delmont, of course, very understandably gets the up and under and is not going to be too happy about that one. Argy-bargy still. Lewis still involved. He's leading the way in the AMs, but Wayne Primer, of course, reeling them in is definitely in contention. So these guys have got to be very, very careful going forward, but oh yeah, he's just not letting up. Flash the headlights. I don't know if he's very happy.
Well, no, it's racing. Give over Mr. Delmont, sir, as well. That was just pure racing. McCutcheon, oh, Lewis! No, Dan, how did you end up there? Oh! I don't really know how to call that one either. Did he come across?
Well, it doesn't exactly look like the SRL car is going right, does it? Or left, does it? So the track naturally is bending to the right. As you can see, there is a little bit of a kink there. And he's pointed himself right, but then he's turning left. But is that counter steer at that point?
I don't really know, but let's go up. Ridley's made a jump at the front, right? He's 2.8 seconds down the road. We've got Carl Jacklett, Manifeld, McCutcheon, and Delmont battling away. We know Delmont's not happy overall with a send from John McCutcheon that happened on the previous lap, mind you. And it was a send. He come from a long way back. He didn't come via the post office. He come via FedEx. He was that far back as well there, did McCutcheon, but he's managing to hold on that mid-race position. Behind that, we've got Bailiff, Barnes, Gibbo, Williams, and Maxwell, who's trying to come through the field there. Maxwell was involved in, what was it, lap 2, I think, an incident as well. So it's a bit of a tough one with Carl Jacklett going up through just after the S's. There, Maxwell's going to make the jump here. He's got to clear Williams, surely. Williams is going to leave in the inside line. Is he all the way through to the last corner? He does. Williams takes that very wide line. Again, Maxwell's got the run coming out the final corner. These guys are going to be side by side. They're side by side with McCutcheon and Delmont going into turn 1 as well. Here's Zach. It's getting very, very spicy.
Very much is. Definitely putting jalapenos in this sandwich. Side by side, we've got McCutcheon on the outside of Delmont. These two not really able to get too much, sort of enough of each other as such. They've got, of course, Mantveld just ahead of them, so battling away is very, very close. These are just take a chill pill, guys, please.
McCutcheon terminated the nose of Adam Delmont. Delmont's on the phone in his car at the moment, ringing up Kim Kardashian to find which nose job therapist is the best one to go to. And McCutcheon, oh, how were they not contacted? They were inside each other.
iRacing.
Like,
there's contact when you're nowhere near each other, and there's contact when you're inside each other. It's just iRacing, mate.
Mate, McCutcheon's front bumper was literally in the back end of Manivel's car there, and there weren't contact. We have cars that are a foot and a half away, and there's contact all day. So I don't know how that one works out as well. Zach Sweeney, my rhyme was not disgusting at the beginning. Don't be rude.
Like, you know how they say, like, oh, that was sick. That's what I mean by disgusting.
Oh.
Is that believable?
No.
Because you almost went for it.
Since when, did we get into the childhood slang there as well? You know what I mean? I don't even understand it when my son mess. Oh, McCutcheon! Oh, no. Johnny Urch! Johnny Urch!
Out there.
Oh.
That wasn't a sick move.
No, that wasn't.
Sickening, but...
I mean, Barnes is off behind. Lewis is... Oh. He come from a long way back, mind you, didn't he? Let's be real about it. As Johnny Urch there as well. Misses his braking point. He's not even... I don't even know if he's on the brakes at the moment. Here as well. Oh, there is a light. It's a very shimmered light there from McCutcheon. So it's not ideal from John McCutcheon there. He just overcooked it. I think he just got distracted by the Delmont behind him and wanted to make sure he stayed in front of him. But unfortunately, he went in a little bit late.
A little bit.
I'm going to say a little bit to be nice. He knows he's just terminated somebody.
Put him in the late entries, or sorry, the late comers pass, and then he'll be right at home, I'm sure. There is Maxwell versus Bailiff. That's into the final corner. Bailiff, though, nice around the outside there of Maxwell. That definitely takes some courage to do. We've got still a half of this race left to go. We're only half the way through. Like, we've had so much already. There you can see Williams on the inside of Gibbons. That's, of course, the fight for third in the late entries class. The green banners, of course, into turn number 1. It's fairly easy to break quite late going in. Multitude of different lines that you can go for, but very deep there. Of course, Gibbons saw it coming, tries to take the momentum to the outside, and then puts his foot down. And now is he going to be enough alongside by the time they reach number 2?
Maxwell trying to get hold of Bailiff here. Williams still managing to hold on to Gibbo, but look at this. Carl Jacklett, Dalmont and Mould right behind him here. 2 fast, hard chargers against the immovable object of Carl Jacklett. Dalmont's going to charge. Was there contact?
Have a look. Dalmont. No.
No.
There would have been. I think there would have been. I think the net code predicted correctly. But obviously at that instance, no, there wasn't.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't contact. So unfortunately for Carl Jacklett there, they both might have made it through. That's the problem as well, because these cars can take a little bit of a bump. So they're not paperweights, you know, they're not SR10s or SR8s or anything like that, or open wheelers. They can take a bit of a bump, and we've seen it where drivers have taken these from sideways straight again. So I don't know. Let them have contact. Just take it away completely.
What?
Well, just try and deal with this situation with netcode, innit? It's driving me crazy.
But there's not really much they can do. I mean,
I know they come out and said they were trying to minimise it. I did see that announcement, that they were trying to make changes to it. But
it's still there. Is somehow John Bailiff on the outside of turn number 2. He's kept his foot in quite nicely. I think Maxwell eventually is going to find his way past. But in the end, what is he's fighting for now? He's fighting for quite far down in the overall and only 4th in class. Inside line once again as Bailiff sends the move once more to the outside. If he's able to keep his nose in, it's the inside for the next right, and that's going to be a sensational move, sensational battle between the pair of them. However, Stuart Gibbons, yeah, by himself in a bit. Yeah, taps the gravel and off he goes in a bit, mate. Yeah. Nice.
Unfortunately for Gibbo there. Bailiff still with Maxwell right behind him. We've got Carl Jacklett, who obviously was in a Dalmont Mould battle. He did end up obviously contact, or predicted contact, should we say. Let's call it that, as they're going around the final corner here as well. Bailiff now, Maxwell jinks to the left. Bailiff goes to the right. Maxwell goes out now as well. Bailiff's going to give him a little bit of a squeeze here. Is he going to be able to hold on? It's the last of the late breakers here as well. We got Maniveld and McCutcheon in the background. Maxwell going as close as he can go as they go round first corner here, and off that run up into Wagon. Still side-by-side action, and blimey, we've got only 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, not long left to go. It has sort of flown past. Well, the first half, I was sort of surprised when I looked up and was like, we're only halfway through this race, but in fairness, it doesn't actually feel like that long ago we started it. We've got Maxwell and Bailiff for 4th place in the Pro, so they're obviously keeping each other nicely company, and Maxwell's still able to stay ahead, but no real progress able to go forwards. Of course, sat 7th place in the overall standings and 6 seconds up to Dan Mulder, of course, the next closest car to him, which is not what I expected from Maxwell in this race, I've got to be honest.
He was looking quick. I thought he might have been able to take the win, but then obviously a mistake in 1, and then contact with Jacqueline 2. Surely he's got to come out and win 3, right? He can't have 3 for 3 bad races, surely. But at the moment, it's Dan Lewis sitting on pole with Paul Godden there in front of him. It's literally going to be practically a full grid reverse, and Dan Lewis there is going to be in the pole with Godden, Kellerman, and Barnes McCutcheon in front. McCutcheon and Maniveld, well, we know how that's turned out after the first few laps, so let's hope this don't repeat as we go coming into the final 6 minutes. Maniveld deep on the brakes there. It's almost scary for Maniveld and McCutcheon because they do look like they're going to torpedo the person in front of them.
Yeah, they do sometimes, and it is quite scary, but thankfully you just about get away with it, and other times obviously you don't. Of course, it's a very tricky balance to get right. There's a little bit wide. I believe that, of course, Maniveld versus Williams. And now they're going side by side. Williams, of course, tries to stay ahead, but can't. And then again, with a big lockup nearly into the back of him. And once again, one of those moments where you have to wince a little bit as he rejoins into the side of his teammate. That's always a good thing to do.
Oh, Mr. Williams. brakes, misses it completely, goes round the side, comes back on. Here comes Chris Barnes. They're almost rubbing. I can guarantee they're probably in the same voice chat. And unfortunately, there's nearly contact there as well. Dalmont has now closed down on Ridley. What's happened to Mould? Oh, no, no, no. He's cooked it going into one. Did Dan Mould, and now everybody has gone past. Dan Mould late on the brakes. Well, some may say a little bit too late as we're now... Oh! Wow! Maxwell, Maniveld, and is that Bailiff in the 22 machine there? No, that's not Luke Maxwell. That's John McHutchinson of Bailiff and Maniveld. Oh, blimey. Johnny Hutch there having a great old battle with these as they're on round down into Wagon now, Zach. Well, blimey, that was close considering we just caught the end of that.
Yeah, I mean, these guys just once again on the limit. Like they just, it's never 80%, is it? It's always 95, 97, 98, 110. That's their threshold. That's where they like to be when it comes to drivability and of course just the sheer aggression in their racing. 16 minutes in, 4 to go. Ridley versus Dalmont. That gap is very much closed. Of course, half a tenth between the pair of them, the 10 and the 37. Dalmont vying for another victory this evening. He is looking very strong. 4
minutes to go. Steve Ridley's not going to give this up, right? Ridley's an Australian. He fights kangaroos and crocodiles for a living. There's Carl Ridley. There is no way he's going to allow Dalmont just to roll him over. He is on the left-hand side, Dalmont. Ridley on the right. Going to try and take him round the outside. Ridley's got to just run it in. Dalmont just gives him a little bit to think about. Ridley can't do it. He's going to try to switch back. Coming out of one, not going to happen. Dalmont covers him off. Now they're going to go into Wagon Bend here. Dalmont in front, Ridley behind. Ridley's got to try and carry speed there. Dalmont did a great job. He got past Ridley, but I thought it would have been a bit of a different story. Ridley would have tried to come back out of it, but he didn't get great exits, unfortunately, and that did struggle when he's come on that run down into the through the chute and into the hairpin.
Definitely has. He's now having to play second fiddle with Adam Dalmont, and I really don't think Ridley's going to be able to launch a counter-attack. So any defence he did try to mount, or maybe the lack thereof, hasn't worked, and well, that was probably his only chance. But then again, first, second, is Dalmont really his race? Maybe not. Maybe second place is the best he can get, and by staying with Dalmont, he can now secure that. Whereas if he was to battle with him, Carl Jacklett would have very quickly been on his case, and that'd been funny. If I was Carl Ridley, I wouldn't blame him for not wanting Carl Jacklett on his case.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want Jacklett either, to be honest. He's too tough of a fighter for me. He's kind of like a Mike Tyson. He doesn't get knocked out very easily, Carl Jacklett. Takes it on the chin and he gets up and he goes again. He's very hard to try and get past, and he races very, very tough here. John McHutchinson and Eric Maniveld still going at each other further back. Dan Lewis getting close to Charles Kellerman as well. They're coming into, I think they might hit the final lap this time around.
Yeah, well, it'll be this one then one to go, innit? So how far? Yeah, it's about halfway through this lap, so it'll be the next lap is his final one. Looking at about 1:20 a lap, so he crossed the line after 18:40, then of course that is going to be the final lap that he's going on. So another 15-lap race. Oh my goodness me! Dan Lewis skirting his way past Charles Kellerman. He's not having a good day today, is he, Kellerman?
No, he's having a bit of a rough one there, and Ridley is breaking away. He's having a bit of a free one with Jacklett, Palmer, Mould and Crowther behind them here as they're coming down to the final corner. Dalmont's on his way round Paddock Bend and then over the line. He has run a little bit wide. Be steady there, son, because I have seen cars shoot it off to the right-hand side. Barney's there on his wooden bridge, waving like a trooper, and there's still action in the background. If Jacklett's going to come and cover off Mould, he's got to be doing it soon, because I can tell you what, Mould's going to be wanting to look up the inside. Jacklett's really tentative. He's giving Mould something to think about down into turn one there as well. He wasn't really defending Jacklett, which was a little bit hard for Mould to try and predict, because was one way into the middle, then he moved a little bit left, and then he moved back to the middle again, and he didn't really give Mould a lot of option to go anywhere.
No, and that's clever in of itself. You don't necessarily have to be very bold and very sort of in your face with your intentions, you can sort of 50-50 it, and that of course leaves your opponent guessing. Jacklet able to retain third place. Of course, at this battle here, the only one that matters is Mold versus Crowther for the, of course, the latecomers entries in that particular championship. Mold looks very secure though. Jacklet, once again, another podium. There, of course, is our race leader, Adam Delmont. Just a couple more corners to go for 2 and 2.
Yeah, Adam Delmont now as well doing a great job in the pros. It looks like he is on the verge of probably wrapping up this championship after this race. We've got one more going into Tsukuba as well, and it is going to be Delmont. Delmont's going to come over the line. Carl Ridley's going to come in behind him in second. Jacklet looks like he might hang on to third overall. He does. Mold takes the latecomers win as well. Crowther in behind that, and then Wayne Palmer takes the AMS. That's a great win from Palmer, and some still great action going on. McCutcheon Yates is off on the Scottish Outer Hebrides. Corresponds another one. Rob Williams, Dan Lewis, as they all go flying off to the jump pit. Yes, that jump.
It's a nice little jump. Yeah, I've never done it. I didn't even know it was there.
Well, clearly it is.
Noted. Noted.
Next time Zach's on Summit Point, you'll just see him go flying there as well.
Mate, lap one.
Lap one. Here are the results. It is Adam Delmont taking the victory with Carl Ridley and Carl Jacklet finishing off the top three. Then in the latecomers, it is Dan Mold takes the win with Wayne Palmer in the AMS. Then you've got Deck Crowther in sixth with Luke Maxwell seventh, Maniveld eighth, Matt Hutchinson ninth, and John Bailiff in 10th. We've got Barnsey taking a podium in the latecomers. Great job from him. And then you've got Lewis and Kellerman with Rob Williams in 12th. Then Paul Godden there as well, who will be on pole position going into race 3. We've got a 5-minute warm-up before we get the grid going for race 3 here, Zach. And to be fair, you know, we talk about the amount of cars, you know, yes, 40-car grids look amazing, 20-car grids look amazing, but there's 16 here, and it still looked amazing. These guys have done a great job.
It just goes to show that you'd need the masses to entertain. Yes, it's nice to have both quality and quantity, but at the end of the day, if you have to choose one, what are you going to go for? Obviously, it's
quality all day, all day.
Because why would you have a 25 car grid if they're going to sit second apart from each other? Like, you've got so many cars, yay, but they're not doing anything, are they?
No.
Like, I'd rather have 10 that are all very close. They all have their respective battles, and we've got fights for the championship, and we've got actually something to talk about. Like, great, we've got 25 drivers, but how are we going to entertain with that? What can we do with that? Oh yeah, this driver likes unicorns, and this driver likes this, and like we can't work with that. I'd rather be screaming about 5 different drivers going for moves every corner.
Likes unicorns. What?
I don't know. That's an Adam Delmont quote, that is.
Working with you on a Monday, sometimes it's complete and utter random. But then again, I did get a message from Dan Lewis last week saying to me, you have far too much fun doing as well. So
Never fun.
they do
Really, I'm miserable. Can you not tell?
Yeah.
I hate what I do.
Yeah, of course you do. You hate racing. You hate commentating on the Clios on a Monday, eh?
Yeah, honestly, it's just.
I love it.
Of course I am.
After probably the Monday you've had in the garage, I'm sure you've probably come and enjoyed yourself.
To be fair, no, yeah, how was today actually? It was alright.
It wasn't that long ago, Zach.
It was alright. It was alright. I mean, again, it's ups and downs, really. Tops and tabs.
Oh, dear me. Applications are open on JPB if you do want to come and join us in the comms.
No, they're not. You wouldn't get rid of me. You couldn't get rid of me if you tried.
I'm sure to bet. Well, to be fair, I'd probably have to get a crowbar to get you off the blinking JPB office floor, to be fair there, sir. So, there we go.
There's an office. I got the key.
I've got the office. See, that's the problem. You're not in the same building, Zach. I mean,
we need a JPB Studios, JP Studios, the JPS, the JPs. Boom.
Yeah, but where are we going to stick a studio? Considering I'm down in Somerset,
Central
you're in somewhere out in the Outer Hebrides with 6 toes. We've got others in Northampton. I've got other people in Norway. Where am I going to stick an office?
No, it's not you, really. You're the boss man.
And
ask the missus. She probably knows.
Yeah, and I've got the wife to contend with. But where is she going to want to go?
Is
She's sat behind me at the moment, not really saying anything.
she?
Yeah.
Oh wow, so she's just listening in.
Listen,
That's like, I don't know.
she loves watching her husband work, you see. That's what it is.
Oh really?
Yeah, I bring such drama and joy to her life that she just likes watching me work all the time.
What look did she just give you when you said the name?
There was a slight roll of the eyes there. So, there we go. But welcome in to the JPB channel. Don't forget, guys, if you are here for the first time, like the broadcast, subscribe, and turn on the bells. You'll get more of the same coming up this week as well, as you've joined myself, James Parfitt, and Sweeney here waiting for race 3 to kick off. We've had 2 very full evenings of racing. 16 cars, 16 cars have provided some great action. We've had packets, we've had blocks of 4, we've had 3, we've had 5, we've had 6. They've all been going at each other here, and we've got another race with a top 15 reverse to go. I think overall, this is the penultimate round, right? We go to Sukubu next week for the final round, and I am so looking forward to that, to finish this one off. And to be honest, as the season comes to near an end, it's been quite an epic season all round.
To be fair, it has gone by quite quickly. It's almost one of those things. It feels like it's been going on for ages, but then you think, oh, we're already near the end. As such, like, look back and it feels like ages ago, but now in the moment, it's almost as if it's like flown by. So yeah, it's weird, obviously, how time works like that. But I've really enjoyed this season, and as always, I'm really looking forward to the next. But race 3.
Yeah, Paul Godden is on pole position with Charles Kellerman and Dan Lewis, the 3 AMs at the front. Williams there as well. Rob Williams in 4th with Chris Barnes in 5th. Then you've got John Bailiffs, John McCutcheon, Eric Manaveld, and Luke Maxwell with Deck Craver rounding out the top 10. I'm not quite sure whose wheels are pointing in the complete opposite direction there. Wayne Palmer, Dan Moll, Carl Jacklett, Carl Ridley, Adam Dalmont, and Stuart Gibbons just missed out on the reverse pole. I say just, unfortunately, Gibbo ended up in the pits in that race as well. But the lights are on, and we're going to get going once more on the JPB YouTube channel. We've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 5, and now we are live and green with Paul Godden, Charles Kellerman getting off the line there as well. Dan Lewis, Rob Williams, side by side. We've got this side by side, 2 wide, 8 deep. Going down into turn 1 once more. Who's going to come out of this on top? Who's going to get it all wrong? Who's not going to get it wrong? They were almost 3 wide further back, but it is Charles Kellerman. Oh no, everybody's got to check up. Check up. As they all make it through, we're almost 4 wide, I think. Going through, we are 3 wide here as well. Kellerman's dropped down into 4th. We got Bailiff in the mix. We got Williams out in front. We've got Barnes in there as well, Zach. And that, well, chaos all day.
Yeah, it has been all 3 race starts. I mean, race 1 was fairly tame. Race 2 and 3 definitely not so. Look at that wave going through the chute. People just trying to pick their way through the carnage as best they can. Mold getting a little bit twitchy and way too twitchy off the road. Takes Jacklett with him and nearly collects a good swarm of about 3 or 4 cars along the way. More than Jacklett, though. It was almost too good to be true.
He hit the grass. That was the problem. Watch Dan Mold. He's touched the grass already, and unfortunately he goes off here. There. So he's on the brakes, on the grass. You're never going to stop it all day. It's not going to happen. Dalmont's just gone off a track at the same time. He has managed to recover. He's kept his position from Wayne Palmer. But Rob Williams is going to lead a lap here. Great job.
Well, yeah, that is an achievement, even if it's just 1, even if he just red flag it, just stop. The race counts now, right? It's the last I saw of it. Oh, John Bailiff going to put an end to his day. In fact, actually, contact, and he's sent round, and oh, nice little save actually. Paul Godden goes through into 2nd, and yeah, well, here we go. How many is he going to tumble? Like a stone in water. He's gone from 1st, he's now 4th. Dan Lewis eyes him up into the inside of turn 2. Everyone's then going to try and freight train him. Maxwell in the mix there. Lewis, Barnes, Williams still somehow in 4th, but well, that could have been disastrous. And I mean, definitely eager to try and defend that, I'm sure.
He's got to, hasn't he? Come on. How often is he going to find himself at the front of this grid? He's got to go and defend. He's got to go and put it in. It's not harsh. He knows me. I'm friends with him outside of the sim racing world anyway. This will be my next door neighbour, for God's sake. This is
really?
Yeah, he was the one that got me into iRacing.
I'm sure there's a reason he moved.
Moving on and ignoring that dig at me there. as well. As you can see, Bailiff Godden scrapping it out. Williams still in the fight with Barnes. We've got Kellerman, who's got Dalmont in front of him. We've got Mould there. What's happened to Luke Maxwell? Oh, Luke. Oh, Luke. Was that the hands of Maneveld? Yes, one. I believe it was, unfortunately. But Luke Maxwell, he has gone into the pits and his evening is done here, Zach, unfortunately. Poor old Luke Maxwell. McHutchison in second with Godden, Williams, Barnes, Lewis still scrapping it out. Williams and Barnes going side by side. Two teammates, of course, here, and they're doing a great job once more, not taking each other out. Williams is still out in front. Barnes is running all over him at the moment. Maneveld is running all over them guys behind as well. Eric Maneveld here, still scrapping their way on their way down into the hairpin, Zach, and it's been a very interesting third race already.
Yeah, we still get 16 minutes and, of course, 16 seconds left to enjoy all of it side by side here. Maneveld on the inside of Lewis gets given just enough room, bit of contact between the pair of them. Lewis now edges himself ahead and sort of cements that P6 that he's currently sat in quite nicely. Bailiff and McHutchison and Godden all for the race lead as well. Where is the man of the day, Adam Delmont, back of this train? He's in P10, trying to work his way forward. Already, to be fair to him, up a couple of places, makes it 6 as he moves his way past Deck Crowther. And he's going to be slowly but surely picking his way forward. But here's the fight for the lead. McHutchison going to, of course, now spark a move.
Oh, he's going to try and go to the right-hand side. Whoa, not on a straight, boys. Not on a straight. Come on. Come on. You can do better than that. As Bailiff and Hutchinson make a little bit of contact. Hutchinson goes in deep again. Recovers and comes out in third. Barnes has cleared Williams. Williams has now got Maneveld closing up behind him. Maneveld's got Ridley. Ridley's got Lewis. Lewis has got Dalmont. Dalmont's got Crowther closing in the background. Then Wayne Palmer, Jack Lick, Charles Kellerman, and Dan Mould a little bit further back. Of course, we saw what happened to him. He hit the grass on the way through the chute and unfortunately just could not stop the car on the brakes. Carl Ridley, Eric Maneveld goes through. Now we've got Dalmont and Lewis. Dalmont's going to go through up the inside of Maneveld. Is he going to make that move? He is going to try and make the move. Is he going to try and hang it around the outside, though, Zach?
Well, I mean, it's definitely going to be brave. You can see the tyre smoke up there. They're all pushing very, very hard. In the end, Delmont has to concede. It's just too awkward to go the long way around there. And, of course, just too long of a... yeah, it's too long of a corner, really. That, of course, a hairpin. And it's so easy on the inside with the rotation because of the camber to just get the drive. Here's the fight. Paul Godden now fighting away with McHutchison. The Scotsman tries to go the long way around. Takes a nice racing line, arches his way through and keeps second.
Yeah, he's going to go back again, isn't he, after his little off track. He's now as well. Barnes is in the battle with Godden. Now Chris Barnes is going to fight. Surely he's got to dive to the inside line as they come into the cone area. For Chris Barnes, he doesn't. He sits in behind. Dalmont's one man that does decide he's going to go up the inside. He's going to try it over Maneveld. Gets that position. Now Maneveld comes around the outside. He takes it away from him here. And unfortunately for Eric Maneveld, he's fighting it out once more here as well. He's still trying to battle away with Dalmont. He takes that position away again. Further up, you can see Ridley and Williams almost going at it again. Williams has taken an off track all day, baby. All day on that one. And possibly even a slowdown for Rob Williams as Eric Maneveld looks like he's going to come around and try and get him as well.
Yeah, side by side. Rob Williams fighting really nicely. There's a launch. Adam Dalmont was just like, inside, cool, mine, in a bit, and just went for it. I mean, I respect the commitment, and he's doing exactly what he needs to, obviously, to move forward in this race. See a gap, fill the space, get the position, and work your way forward, because 20 minutes isn't that long of a time, and Dalmont loves, of course, to charge his way through the field.
There he is now up. It's a very tough racer in. Eric Maneveld is going to try and go up the inside coming into the final corner. Here's Adam Dalmont. He is going to make it through, I think. Maneveld's on the outside. They're going to be side by side on the run. Now we've got a drag race. We've got the SRL on the right. We've got Send It and Bend It on the left. Send It and Bend It goes into the lead. He takes in place away from Dalmont. Blocks off the inside line. Dalmont's got nowhere to go apart from the doors left open a little bit from Maneveld. We've got a hard charging Deck Crowther. Crowther's just about to try and go past Lewis. He does make it past Dan Lewis there as well. Deck coming through, doing a great job. The door was open all day and Deck Crowther took the position.
Nicely done. Moving forward, what is he now? Second place in the latecomers. I mean, to be fair, between himself, oh no, yeah, he is second place. Chris Barnes leading, of course. Dan Mould not having the best of days, but Deck Crowther having a really nice, consistent run of things this evening. Always, I think, second across all 3 races so far in that particular green class. Is Delmont once again trying to claim another victim to the outside, going through the hairpin at the end of the chute, but Maniveld has got it covered. I mean, if you're Maniveld and you've seen Delmont has just won the last 2 races, would you really put up this big of a battle considering the rest of the field is just getting away?
Yes, absolutely. Just give it some. Why not? Hold on for your dear life and defend and defend and defend. It doesn't matter. You're in the same class. Defend away, Eric. Oh, Delmont, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. He's just about stopped it. Crowther goes through there as well. Close, hard racing with Eric Maniveld and Adam Delmont. We can see now Ridley just cleared Godden. Now Ridley's got Barnes and McHutchison in front of him. McHutchison going over John Bailiff. He's going to try around the outside coming into turn 1. McHutchison's going to run it. He's late on the brakes again for McHutchison. Not quite getting it stopped again is Johnny McHutch.
Yeah, very late on the brakes, very bold with his moves, but so far it's actually working quite well for him. He's able to solidify second and still be in the hunt for, of course, the lead. Bailiff, of course, just ahead of him, running really nicely. I have to say, I'm really impressed with Bailiff over the last couple of weeks. He's running really well, consistent stuff, and great racecraft demonstrated as well. Of course, we approach the end of the first half of race number 3 into the second, and McHutchison trying to get the up and under, put Bailiff under a bit of pressure, but he's having absolutely none of it.
McHutchison there can't get any closer to Bailiff, even if he tried. Williams is off the side of the circuit, unfortunately, and is now tumbling down the field. Is now behind Charles Kellerman. McHutchison now also there. He's scrapping away once more here as well. That's how close we are. We go on to the nose of McHutchison. We can see Bailiff. We're looking for the run out here in the final corner. McHutchison's got it. We're inside, literally, of Bailiff there. Literally inside. We saw Bailiff's rear suspension. We were that close, Zach.
Yeah, thankfully no major contact. You can see door-to-door banging as they run their way towards turn number 1. Here's McHutchison trying to give Bailiff the squeeze. Of course, he's going to be on a very tight line, side by side, just in the background as well. McHutchison actually, instead of going for the up and under, tries to go the long way around, boxes him in. They're 3 wide on the exit. Bailiff gets caught out down to 4th. There's Ridley and Barnes side by side on this descent towards turn number 2. But McHutchison played that so well in that fight for the lead.
Yeah, Barnes is going to have that second place, is he, as well. He's alongside the Australian Carl Ridley. Don't forget, Ridley's there in his pastime. He's a kangaroo fighter, a crocodile wrestler. He is the Dundee of the Clios, is Carl Ridley, with Barnes also trying to get hold of him as well. Bailiff's there. Godden's trying to hang on in the arms. He goes a little bit deep into the hairpin. He's now coming round the carousel before they go into the S's. Adam Delmont. Oh, no. Adam Delmont and Carl Jacklett. Jacklett, the immovable object. Delmont just sat there, unfortunately for him. Nowhere to go when you got Carl Jacklett in front of him.
No, you just have to accept your fate at this point. It's just a case of, right, yeah, well, this is the best I'm going to get, unless he, of course, destroys himself, which is, of course, very unlikely. Carl Jacklett, yeah, he's a very seasoned driver. He knows how to, obviously, get his way through, and his pace is always good. And once he's got his mindset on something, it's not budging.
Crowther's there as well. He's just got in front of Godden. Jacklett's alongside Bailiff. Delmont. Ridley's alongside McHutchison. It's too wide. Crowther gets it through. What about Delmont? Jacklett holds on. Mold's gone off the side of the circuit just about. He's gone in deep into turn 1. He missed his brakes. Ridley and McHutchison are side by side. The Scotsman's got the inside line. The Australian's got the outside. He takes the lead there, does Carl Ridley. Now Barnes is in behind McHutchison as well. It's all kicking off. We've got barely any time between any of these guys whatsoever as they're going into the final race here. You can see all the way through 5 seconds to Dan Mould from the lead. That cannot be, well, to have 5 seconds across the top 12 is incredible.
Yeah, that's what obviously averages itself out to be just over half a second between each car, or just under half a second between each car, I should say. Of course, 6 seconds over the top 12 would be half a second, so just a little bit less than that, which is awesome to see. Each and every single one of these drivers being so competitively close, and all evening long as well. Again, a shorter grid, only 16 cars as such, only gives us a few drivers in each category, but at the end of the day, been one of the best rounds of the season, I've got to be honest.
I agree. I do agree. Delmont's in the background. That's Paul Godden, I believe. No, Dan Lewis, sorry. side by side with at the moment. Delmont's going to have the inside line into turn 1. He's going to be later on the brakes. Is Delmont? Is he going to get it stopped? Wow, big old tyre smoke once more. No changes up the front. However, Ridley's up 13 places here. Carl Ridley doing a stellar job with 7 minutes to go. Where is the time going here this evening?
I don't know. It's just ticking and it's going, and I don't know. It's just the thing with life is that it doesn't want us to have too much of a good thing, which is why the time speeds up, or appears to speed up when we're happy, and then obviously when we're all miserable and bored with the race, it just seems to drag on and on and on. And you know, we'd quite like the opposite, really. But at the end of the day, we've enjoyed every single second of each of these races, and well, once again, a successful evening in the Clios, and we still get about 6.5 minutes to enjoy this one.
Ooh, and then we get another round at Tsukuba. Tsukuba. Oh, as I get very, very excited for that race circuit. That is going to be absolutely amazing, or absolutely chaos. So there we go. Once more, further in the background, Delmont's now making a way, trying to get past Bailiff. Bailiff covers him off. Lewis is in there. Jacquelette's in there as well. Jacquelette's going to go and send it up the inside of Dan Lewis. Lewis slots in behind Delmont. Delmont gains a position. Now Jacquelette's going for Lewis. He's pulled out, gone to the inside. Carl Jacquelette there. Is he going to get the place, or are they going to come out side by side? There's side by side molds in the mix. He's just got nowhere to go. Pick a partner. Pick a partner. He's gone with Carl Jacquelette. Has down mold. He's going to try and run that outside line. Lewis. Steady. Steady. Oh. Oh, no.
Oh, Carl Jacquelette.
Carl Jacquelette. Oh, it's kind of what Carl did to Luke Maxwell. The kind of the same thing, isn't it, really? And that's the problem, as Chris Barnes and Eric Maniveld are going side by side here. There's going to be contact between the two of them on that run down into Paddock Bend, the final corner here as well. And unfortunately, that's what the situation was. That's no different to what Jacquelette did to Maxwell.
Not really. Again, it's putting your nose in and understanding when is the time to actually lift off. But at the same time, special awareness from everyone's part. Carl Jacquelette wasn't really too in control of his car and was just basically trying to keep it on the road as such. And in doing so, wasn't overly aware of the fact that there's going to be a car that will be obviously there to turn around at the opportunity. So I think that is down to more of a racing incident. They're side by side as well. I think that's Delmont versus Bailiff as he picks his way into 7th place. Of course, Delmont having a fairly bog standard reverse grid race, and as is the sense that it's also competitive in these grids that it makes it even harder for Delmont to actually sort of skyrocket his way through the field as we've once seen earlier on in the season. Everyone's gotten better, which means Delmont hasn't been able to make as much progress.
Chris Barnes currently leading the latecomers, which is great for Chris there as well, as he's leading the latecomers situation going on. So let's see what happens as we come into the final minutes of this evening's racing. That is the standards that currently leading there on the left-hand side. We've got Barnes and Crowber not very far apart from each other as well in the latecomers race. Then we've got John McHutchinson leading the pros with Carl Ridley. Where did Ridley go? Huh?
He's in 2nd.
Yeah, but didn't he clear McHutchinson? Or am I dreaming?
What is real? That's what happened.
Ridley was late on the brakes. He didn't get the car stopped. Ooh. That's Chris Barnes. He's gone over as well. So unfortunately, that was what happened there. Ridley with a big old checkup. Unfortunately, McHutchinson not very well. He didn't have anywhere to go, really, did he?
No, not really. Again, you're almost left with no choice. And again, just unfortunate circumstances. I'm sure Ridley not going to be overly happy with how things went. But again, he's a racing driver and there's no one else to blame but himself. Just too late on the brakes. McHutchinson went in to take a normal racing line. And again, it's difficult when you're so committed to change what you're currently doing, unless you're going to do something drastic to save the race of someone else, which why would you? So yeah, McCutcheon took the lead. Ridley there in second, now 1.5 seconds back and potentially under pressure from Mannetveld in that fight for second place. But even then, Ridley's had 12 places gained, a potential for a victory, sure, but at the end of the day, it's not been a bad evening for him. Second place in race 2, second place potentially in race 3. Of course, there is still 2 laps left to go at the line. But apart from that, I don't really think there's much Ridley can complain about. Just bittersweet that an unfortunate mistake has cost him the win.
Did the brakes, the lateness on the brakes there. Unfortunately, McCutcheon really didn't have anywhere to go whatsoever. Barnes and Crowther have got Delmont climbing all over the back of them as they're coming into turn 1. Delmont's going to make the move over Crowther. Is he going to get Barnes as well? He isn't at the moment. He goes on late on the brakes. That's going to give Crowther almost a run out the exit. We've got Dalmold in the background with Godden Lewis. Bailiff has got Palmer behind him. You can see that in the final background as well. Bailiff, unfortunately, spent more time going backwards than he has to going forwards in race 3. And now Wayne Palmer's trying to get hold of him as well. Bailiff's on the gravel. That's going to slow him down. That's going to allow Palmer through. Now Adam Dalmont down Mold. Deck Crowther going side by side. Mold's got the inside going into the hairpin. He's going to make his way through as well here. The damn Mold starting to come through. Again, he's now running around the outside of Crowther. Dalmont's giving Crowther a push. Crowther's got to block off. If anyone, it's got to be down Mold here, and he does just about. But Crowther's going to be hanging on for the dear life going into this final lap.
I'd definitely be inclined to agree. Dan Mould is not one that likes to obviously relieve the pressure. Carl Ridley into the pit lane. What's happened there?
I can't answer that question there, unfortunately, for Carl Ridley. I have no idea. Stopped in the pit box. Crowther's now got Mould alongside him. Final lap of the race here. Crowther in the orange, Mould in the SRL black and gold. Now he's going to look up the inside going into turn 1. We got the arms of Godden and Lewis backing it out. Mould's not managing to make it through past Crowther here this time. Crowther's now going to run it out and go side by side up through Wagon. This was the left-hander, of course, and he's going now as well. Crowther's managing to hold on to this, but Johnny Hutchinson looking like he's going to wrap up the win here.
I think he will. He's got half a lap left to go in order to consolidate it. What a race he's had. Of course, everyone's had ups, downs, roller coasters of an evening here at Summit Point, which is, to be fair, exactly what we expected with such a race track and such a venue. Mould versus Delmont battling away, but with only a handful of corners left to go. McCutcheon is looking strong as ever. I'm sure he's going to be a driver that's going to be very, very pleased when he crosses that line.
Godden's going to be taking, by the looks of it, the AM victory. So it's going to be McCutcheon in the pros. Is it going to be Maneveld here? I think it is going to be Maneveld. It's going to get the second place. They're coming round into paddock now. The leaders here, it is John McCutcheon's going to wrap it up. He's going to come over the line. What's going to happen further back? We'll keep an eye. McCutcheon, the Scotsman, takes the win in race 3. What about Barnes? What about Crowther? What about Mould? They're almost going to make it alongside side by side there as well. They're all off doing the jump. And away there as well. Oh, dearie me. Chris Barnes. See that one? That was absolutely amazing.
Let's have a look.
Oh,
nice. Nice.
Manages to hold on there.
Lands it as well.
I don't know. Let's have a look on board it. I do love things
Yoink.
like this. Yeesh.
Yoink. Oh, mate, flips it, lands it, and then doesn't land it, and then does land it, and then... What a guy.
I believe that may have been Crowther also taken to the wall there as well. How well did he do it? He goes over the line. He's a bit later than Barnes. Up he
he's
goes.
a bit harsher and just flips.
Oh, there we go.
Does he even clear the fence? No, he doesn't. He doesn't clear the tyre wall. He just bounces right back onto the track.
Yep. And there we go in that very wildly wrecked Clio. Some great action from everybody. I've got to admit the racing here this evening has been top draw from these guys. But here are the results for race 3. John McCutcheon in 3rd, Eric Maneveld 2nd, Chris Barnes in 3rd, Dak Crowther in 4th with Adam Delmont 5th, Paul Godden, Dan Lewis, Wayne Palmer, Charles Kellerman, and then we've got Carl Ridley, John Bailiff, Rob Williams, Dan Mould, Carl Jacklett. What happened to Mould at the end then? How did he end up down there?
Good question. I don't know. We're good, aren't we? We're really good at this.
Oi, shush.
Just saying. Just saying.
Did he go off again? Or did he get a penalty? That's what's making me think he might have got a penalty. And an unspent penalty.
Was it just incident limit? What's the incident limit? Is it 15?
17.
17.
Yeah. So
It's easy
there
to
we
get,
go.
really.
Right, guys. Let's bring you up the results anyway. John McCutcheon is your winner with Eric Maneveld in second. That's the pros wrapped up. In the latecomers is Barnes and Crowther there as well. Dalmont does wrap out the podium of this pros. Then we've got Godden and Lewis and Palmer taking the victory in the AMs. That's your 1, 2, 3. Kellerman just on the outside there. Carl Ridley in 10th, John Bailiff 11th, Williams in 12th, Dan Mold down in 13th, Carl Jacklett, Luke Maxwell and Stuart Gibbons there as well. And let's jump over and interview some of these drivers here this evening as well. As we're going to start off, first off, we'll bring in, let's have a chat with one Mr. Carl Jacklett, who had a very great evening of racing. I think even by his standards, he will sit back and say it's been absolutely amazing. Carl, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. A little bit spitting feathers at the moment after that race, but hey ho.
Yeah, but I am going to bring that into perspective for you. What happened with you going off torpedoing on the right-hand side, we did see that in race 3, was the same kind of incident, just roles reversed with you and Luke Maxwell, was it not?
No, I don't think it was. With Luke, I was actually on the curb, and I think he pinched me. Didn't really leave enough room to be completely safe. That was fairly side to side. I think Dan and myself, he was in my rear, wasn't
It was, Carl, from our perspective, the way that you were alongside Luke Maxwell was the same that Mold was alongside you.
he? Okay, I'll
But have a look back
look
and
back, but-
yeah, I'm sure you'll have a look back, but let me know. How was it overall, right? We had a very short grid, but that didn't hinder the racing, did it?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, I did some lovely passes around the outside from turn 1 that gives you a really good run into the left-hander. Made up quite a few places on that. The incident with me and Adam was a huge lump of netcode. So, but no, I was defending hard.
As you
But,
always do,
yeah,
dear
I
sir.
mean, yeah, I do that. But yeah, it was good racing. Really good racing. Exciting.
Yeah.
Really exciting.
Yeah, we loved it. We loved it up here in the booth, Carl. It was absolutely amazing. Going on to the final round already. Tsukuba next week. I'm going to love that.
Yeah, that's a good old track, that is.
Yeah.
And it's going to be quite hard on tyres.
Is it? You
I
reckon?
think so, yeah. Yeah, this track was hard on tyres.
Okay.
You had to bring them in quite gently. My race 2 lock up into the left-hand hairpin isn't the way to bring them in gently. But fortunately, when I got into Kyle, I was off the gas. I didn't push him round. You know, I gave him a chance to recover it. And because I wasn't on the gas, I then got swamped somewhat. But it would have been unfair to have pushed it. But no, you had to really let the tyres come in on this track, which was probably why I had good pace at the end of the races. I was gentle at the beginning, which does tend to help. And I think Tsukuba will be very much the same with those hairpin right, hairpin left, hairpin right. Yeah, it's going to eat the tyres up.
Let's see how we get on there as well. Carl, thanks so much for joining us. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, just to you guys for putting great racing together. Looking forward to much more of it. Looking forward to the NASCAR 100% League. That's going to be a blast.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
gonna be
is.
good.
Don't forget, Carl, as well. Sign-ups are open for that one as well. So,
Oh, are
yeah,
they? I've
yes.
not seen that.
Yeah, it is. But we'll put an announcement out soon as well. But Carl, thanks so much for joining us there, buddy, and look forward to seeing what you could do next week at Tsukuba.
I'll do my best.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Right, next up, I think we'll go with Mr. Carl Ridley, the Australian part-time kangaroo fighter, crocodile wrestler here as well. He's been wrestling this Clio round this evening as well. Carl, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good, thanks, James. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. Sorry, I had to introduce about that as well, but I hope that was all right. You know what? We had a short grid, right? But we had great racing, and that's all you can ask for.
Well, that's right. A field isn't determined by the quantity; it's the quality. It's determined by the quantity. And tonight we had a lot of close fighting, especially with the reverse grid races. Gave everybody a lot of hopes, a lot of chances to battle it out and all that. So it was a good, good races all in all, and hopped a podium and wrestled a couple points.
Yeah, you definitely did there as well. And I think overall it's been very eventful. You know, you got a podium in race 2. Race 3? What's the perspective on race 3?
Little disappointing, to be honest. I mean, I outbreak myself fighting Hutchinson, and just a little bit of contact gave me the meatball, and I was 4 laps from home, which you have to serve at 3 laps. So yeah. I had to pit. Yeah, I had to pit on the penultimate lap to serve it. Otherwise, we was getting DQ'd, and with Maxwell not coming back out, so not scoring points for the said race, it was beneficial for me just to pit and take the pain, because it will benefit me next week.
How did you get a meatball from that little bit of contact thing?
It's weird. It's got to be a little bit of Scottish internet trying to connect to Australian internet as things happen, but I was really slow on the apex, like I said.
Well, Carl, thanks so much for joining us, buddy. It's been a great evening watching you race away. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
As always, I want to thank my teammates, Eric and John, for racing, because believe it or not, we're not having fun in the car. We are happy to see the end of it, but we're going to stick it out and do the last round. So I just want to thank them for sticking it out, and thank you for hosting the races.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Having fun in the car. How can you not have a fun in a little skateboard with 4 wheels?
It's weird. I guess you remember back to season 2 where I was comfortably one of the quickest at times. I mean, all my lap records have been set from then. I'll half a second a lap slower today than season 2, and I just don't understand why. It's just bizarre, and it's just not. I miss my Jetta, put it that way.
Fair play, Carl, buddy. Thank you so much for joining us, mate. We'll let you get on and have a good one.
Thanks, James.
Next up on...
James.
Yes.
Don't all skateboards have 4 wheels?
I should have said... Right, let's...
So do roller skates. Roller skates have 4 wheels as well.
Not if you got inlines.
Yeah, they're still 4 wheels.
Oh, yeah, but they're in... Shut up, you. Anyway, after now having a debate with Zach Sweeney in the booth, let's have a chat with a William Wallace of the SR10s. He's now becoming faster. William Wallace of the Renault Clio's here as well, doing a stellar job once more. Johnny Hutch, he's had a bit of a roller coaster evening. Let's bring him in and tell us all about it. John, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Good, James. I wouldn't say I'm getting fast. Getting faster, but not fast.
Oh, you're getting faster. That's all that matters. Luke's getting faster. Yep. It's a great effort. Up and down evening. Your braking seemed to be a problem here this evening.
I was just speaking to someone about it. I've loaded in the wrong brake set, so I've got pressures are all out, and that's no excuse for running. I apologise to Eric. I was locked up and run straight into the back of him. It looked, when I watched it back in replay, it looked really, really silly, amateurish. So I apologise to Eric.
Yeah, we did see it. Unfortunately, John, we caught it on camera, which really is no surprise considering. But look, we've asked everybody as well. The racing this evening has been top draw considering we've had 16 people on the grid.
It's small, tight tracks. Small cars, slow cars. You're going to get good racing around here. It was door to door. Some bit too much door to door for someone, but no, it was really good.
I do love it there, John. Ever so slightly gets the little digging. Some door to door, too much for some people there as well. Going forward, final round next week, believe it or not already. These 10 weeks have absolutely flown by. Tsukuba, what do we reckon?
Tsukuba, yes. Good. Looking forward to it. I like Tsukuba. You've got to use the camber around the track, and it's braking can be awkward because of the camber. So it should be. I'll be good next week.
Make sure you load the right ones in, John. Otherwise, you're going to go for a burden, buddy.
Just don't get in front of me. That's all I can say.
Don't get in front of you, otherwise there's a Scottish torpedo coming in behind you. John, it's been a pleasure talking to you, as it always is there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
No, good night, James. Thanks, pal.
All right, man. Have a good one. I'll see you Thursday.
Okay, good night. Good night.
Right, and the final chat of the evening as well is with Paul Godden. He's been on the podium 2 out of the 3 races here this evening. He's watched his teammate Wayne Palmer get 3 out of 3 as well. Let's have a chat with Paul Godden once more. Paul, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Good evening, James. Good, thanks.
Well, that was epic.
Yeah, that was crazy. They first race, it was we were all really close to each other, so it was just a case of driving around, and I was going, Wayne, is anyone actually overtaking? Because it felt like we were just in a train the whole time with a couple of cars you could see in the distance overtaking, and you just could not catch anyone, and it was quite frustrating because my plan was to try and get 10th, and I was like, I'm only 13th, it can't be that hard to get 3 places, but I worked so hard just to stay on the back with everyone. And then that didn't really work out. So then race 2 started in the place I finished in 13th, went again. And I was just getting involved in a few too many incidents and found myself battling for 15th. And I've never battled so hard for the last place. There was about 6 of us battling for it. And I was like, and we were all really good. Everyone was really good pace and ducking and diving, and but no one was really getting past each other. So, and then I found myself at 15th. I thought, well, that's it. I'm going to be on pole position for race 3. And I thought, I haven't really got that much great pace tonight. I've got all right-ish, but I'm still like half a second to where I want to be. And and then that race was just crazy. It was trying to race with all the pros and the quicker drivers around, but not lose too much time. But I couldn't let them through like I have done in previous races, because you lose so much time going offline here. I'd have been at the back of the grid within 2 or 3 laps. So, but it made it really interesting, and hopefully it looked really good on the broadcast. It was 3 wide and I don't know what was going on at some points.
Mate, to be honest with you, we didn't know what was going on at some points. It was just we come into the evening, we wasn't quite sure where it was going to go with a smaller field. And after race 1, me and Zach are sitting here going, what have we just watched? It was absolutely incredible. And then we had 2 more races after, and it was just mental, absolutely insane. But going forward, the final race of the season already, and we're going to Tsukuba to top it off.
Yeah, it's going to be a great little track that is. I haven't raced around there a lot. I have done on other platforms, but not on this iRacing platform, and never with the Clio. So it should be really good fun. And it looks like now the AM Championship, Daniel was just saying, it looks like it could be between 3 or 4 of us now. I haven't seen the points yet, but it's looking quite like it could be quite tasty in the AMs. And obviously all the pros are still out to do it. So I think it's going to be another similar racing to what we had tonight, where it's going to be very close for the whole field, and it's just going to be down to little differences here and there, and just having fun really, and see what happens at the end of the night. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to Scuba Paul. I've got to be honest, I think it's going to be an absolute classic. But thanks so much for joining us once more. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, 2 people. First one I'll give a shout out to is who's it? Charles Kellerman. Because I turned him round, unfortunately, on first corner of race 3. I was hit the curb on the inside and just pinged into the back of him. And I was like, oh no, I've pinged him round. And then I could see him going sideways. And I thought, right, I've got to straighten him up to keep him going. So I tried to push him round a bit to go straight. And then I was going to give him the place back. And unfortunately, I think he must have just lost a bit too much speed and got swallowed up by the rest of the pack. But I felt really sorry for him, because it was we had a really good battle in race 1 and race 2. And then secondly, I'd like to shout out to John Bailiff for probably, well, I don't know if you saw it on stream, but maybe save of the season, where he lost it on race 1, I think it was, coming into the downhill hairpin, and he was one way, then the other way, and he managed to avoid all the cars. And yeah, it was amazing to watch. And I was on the brakes trying not to get tangled up with him, and he managed to do it. And it was great that he didn't take anyone out, because another time he could have wiped 3 or 4 people out. So it was really good. And then lastly, to all the other drivers for making it a great series, and with the ups and downs of this season, we've still got a great number of drivers, and everyone's got loads of respect for each other as well out on track tonight, as you saw. So it was good.
Well, Paul, thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and look forward to seeing what you can do at Tsukuba.
Yeah, nice. Cheers, guys. Cheers, mate.
Well, there you go. That we've had a chat with 4 people here who seem very happy with the way their evenings have gone. Jacklitz has been up and down. McCutcheon laughing about the fact he couldn't even stop the car. You know, it's been a great evening, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's positive, which is exactly what we want. You know, there were mishaps, absolutely. But again, in the way that you would expect, you know, grown people to, they just laugh it off, shrug it off, pretend race cars. They all had fun. They all enjoyed themselves. They're here to have a good time. They're not necessarily... Well, I mean, they are here to win championships as such, but they're not here to win thousands and thousands of pounds and have their life decided by the JPB Clio Cup. Like, they're here to have fun. They're here to enjoy themselves, and they're here for good racing, and that's exactly what they got.
And they definitely did. Right, guys, this is going to wrap it up here this evening as well. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are watching it back, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells. Drop us a comment down below as well if you've had any favourite moments here this evening as well. I'm off to watch the real life Daytona 500, as I've just seen an 8-car pile-up on lap 7 there as well. But I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Zach Sweeney. Take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.